Shabbat Shalom. It's Erev Shabbat. Parashat Ki Tisa. We're getting ready for a beautiful community Shabbat dinner with 250 guests here, celebrating the unity of the Jewish people throughout all the challenges that we've witnessed. But it's ironic that this is the Shabbos that we're celebrating, a unity Shabbos. This is the week we're celebrating a unity Shabbos, but it happens to be the week when we read the famous verse that we say every week in Kiddush. Which is the verse? V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. The Jewish people guarded the Shabbos. And then it continues on, la'asot et ha-Shabbos, to make the Shabbos. And then it says, Oti lo'olam, it is a sign forever between God and the Jewish people. Now we all know that in the Ten Commandments it speaks about Shabbos too. But in the Ten Commandments it says, Zachor, remember the Shabbat. But over here it says more than remember. We can't just remember it, we have to guard it. How do we guard it? We have to make sure it's a sign between the Jewish people and between God. And the Chavetz Chaim says something very beautiful. He says, imagine if you go to a store and you go to the shop and you want to buy something and the shop is closed. You say, probably the guy left early. You come back the next day, he's not there again. The shop is closed. You say, maybe he is on vacation and that's why you can't get him. You come back a week later, he's still away. You say, you know what? Maybe he went away for extended vacation. He wasn't feeling well. You don't know. But what happens if you come to the shop and the sign is down? There's no more sign on the door. So then you say the guy went out of business. And what the Torah is telling us is that Shabbos is Oti La'olam. That's the sign on the Jewish people, that the Jewish people are thriving, that the Jewish people are continuing, that Am Yisrael, Chai LaNetzach, that we live for eternity, is the fact that we celebrate Shabbos. That's the sign on the door that we have. On the door of Judaism is the celebration of Shabbos, a celebration that's been taking place for 3,300 years. As Achad Ha'am said, Shabbos has kept the Jews more than the Jews have kept Shabbos. So we have to be guarding this sign. We have to be guarding this sign by making sure that we celebrate Shabbos, that we embrace Shabbos, that we love Shabbos, that we keep the traditions of what Shabbos is. And there's an interesting story with Golda Meir. When she was prime minister, Rabbi Riskin says this in his book, when she was prime minister, she came to America. And she was at this conference in America and in Washington, and the head of the Reconstructionist movement, they showed her a new Haggadah that had come out. And they said, this is a new age Haggadah. What do you mean? We changed the words a little. We changed the Haggadah a little bit, that it should also remember the Jewish people in the Holocaust. And we changed the words. And Golda Meir looked at the Haggadah, she takes it, and then she gives it to him back. I don't want it, she says. And he's shocked. He says, you're not a religious person. Why don't you want this Haggadah? And she says, I'm not religious. You're 100% right. But you see, I do a Seder every year on Passover. And I want my grandchildren and great-grandchildren to say the same words that my ancestors have said for thousands of years. I want the words to be exact. I want the holiness to continue. I want them to keep that tradition. So I'll take the old Haggadah. You see, the Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbos, it's our job to keep the Shabbos, to guard the Shabbos, to keep that sign on the front door saying the Jewish people are thriving. We're celebrating Shabbos. Look what's going to be here tonight. And we had to close registration a week ago. But here we are celebrating the unity of Am Yisrael on the Shabbos, when in the Torah portion we say V'shamru b'nei ha-Shabbos. So we have the Maccabees coming. Hopefully you could join us tomorrow. If you aren't on the list, you're able to join us tomorrow and celebrate in Shul. Everyone's welcome to that. But here we go with a beautiful list alphabetically by couples of all the people that are joining us for Shabbos of unity. And God willing, we should be able to do many, many more of all this detail and beautiful things that are going to be going on for Shabbat. Have yourself an awesome Shabbos. Celebrate in style. Embrace the sign that God has given the Jewish people. Oti beini u'beinchem. It's a sign between God and the Jewish people. Shabbat shalom. Have a great Shabbos.